Florida's 65 points are the fewest by a winning team, and the combined total, 128, fewest in a title game since 2014. Also, this is just the second title game in the last 35 years decided by 2 points or less. The Duke Blue Devils beating Butler in 2010 was also a 2-point margin.
Ooh! Ow! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! Stat of the day! This is the stat of the day!
In college sports, we tend to treat conference realignment like it's a business move, and for a lot of universities, it is business. But after watching Florida win the national championship, it's more than just about money. Take Duke. Duke dominated the ACC. And if you're not tested during the regular season, you get to steamroll your way to the Final Four. You rarely play from behind. You rarely feel that pressure. And then the moment demands that, and they flinched. 14-point lead vanished in the Final Four, and with it, their chance for a national championship. And then you look at Florida. The Gators weren't perfect, but they were prepared for this moment. They've fallen behind in 4 of their tournament games and came back to win, including last night. But, think about this. They were down 10 to Texas Tech, comeback. Down late to Auburn, another comeback. 2-point win over the defending national champion UConn Huskies. Last night, they're down by 12 at one point. No panic whatsoever. That's experience. That's what happens when you're battle-tested. Florida was. Duke wasn't. And it made all the difference in the world. I said this a couple of weeks ago during the regular season. If you win the SEC, it's like winning the national title. And that's exactly what happened. Florida won the SEC. Florida won the national title. They were ready for the moment. And look, aesthetically, no, wasn't pretty basketball, but it was pretty close basketball. And you're seeing a team come from behind again. They had margins of at least 6 points, 4 second-half comebacks down at least 6 points. That's the most in a tournament game since 2015. And, give Houston a lot of credit because they also showed that same kind of grit, determination. They were prepared for a moment. They didn't quit against Duke. But that moment last night where you look at the last 4 possessions, and they got nothing out of it. They had turnover, and then couldn't get a shot off. And you start to look at what the play was. Florida seemed to know what that design was. Here's Calvin Sampson, the Houston head coach, on that design of the final play.
We have a set where it's a stagger gate, and we thought if we could get Emmanuel to shot fake and get downhill, I have to look back at the film, and I don't know if the ball slipped out of his hands or he probably should have shot faked that. Clayton made a great play on that, but that's why you got to shot fake and get in the paint.
Yeah, I was surprised it felt a little too on the perimeter, and maybe it was starting on the perimeter to then get to the basket because you're down 2. And that's what I kept thinking. You at least have to get something towards the hoop. Don't settle for a three-pointer to try to win the national championship. And I don't know if that was the play, but Florida knew what the play was going to be because they blew it up right away. So give credit to Florida. Did a great job with that. Here is how that final play sounded.
Uzan on the right-hand wing, stops with 7 seconds, gives it to Cryer, 6 seconds to go, 5 seconds to Sharp, top of the key, lost the dribble, he's got to pick it up, it's scooped up by Condon secures it, and Florida found a way from 12 down to the school's 3rd national championship in men's basketball.
Yeah, that was courtesy of Westwood One, but that's embarrassing. The turnover, can't get a shot off, and you could have pump fake. Give Clayton, who's not a great defender, he made a great decision to go out there because you can maybe draw contact in a situation like that. But I think he was flying to the ball at an angle that he was not going to, affect the shooter or at least be drawn into getting 3 free throws there. I was just surprised. It felt like it was going slow, and then you do a pick, and then somebody slides by. Somebody's ready to set another pick. Nobody's there to set a pick. And then all of a sudden you're reversing it, and then all of a sudden you're in trouble. And then all of a sudden you're tick, 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 and then it's over. But give credit to Florida because that's a battle-tested team. And when you have those players who've been in moments like this, and granted, it's the SEC that you're in, not the NCAA tournament with these moments, but it does translate. And you saw that because Duke didn't handle the pressure well. And when you have 3 freshmen out there, there's a little bit of doubt. There's reasonable doubt of what you're going to do with the game on the line when you're not used to those situations. But Florida wins the national championship and winning 65-63. Seton, what's poll question today?
Well, we might as well start with a little bit of a downer. Worst way to lose a game.
Is this a Todd Fritz?
This is not a Todd Fritz. This is a Paul Pabst
Okay.
negativity poll.
Okay.
The classic Paul Pabst negativity poll.
Okay.
That might negativity index. We might be starting the PPNI Paul Pabst negativity index.
Oh, exciting.
I'm going to spend all day working on that.
Okay.
Put the sticky
All
up there.
right. Okay.
Anyway, worst
Anywho.
way to end a game: not getting a shot off, called third strike, or a quarterback sack. Both of them are great. Called third strike to lose a game is to swing the bat, lad.
Yeah. Come on, get the bat up, shoulder. Come on now. Yeah, Paul.
What really hurts beyond the loss, obviously, if you're a Houston fan, is not even the hope of a shot going up. Not even because that wins it. If it hits, it wins it at the buzzer. Not even getting a shot off. Or like a Bengals fan, you had a chance to win the Super Bowl and a sack. Your quarterback doesn't even get downfield with a throw. Like, which is more painful?
Well, there's no guarantee that. Now, granted, with Joe Burrow, would he have hit Jamar Chase? They would have won the Super Bowl. Yes, that appears to be according to what the film shows. But I don't know if we have a called third strike that we can reference there. I think not getting a shot off because you can at least tie the game if you get a good shot. And all you want is hope. You got the ball, and you got to get 2. If you happen to get 3, you win the national championship. A sack. Matt Ryan against the Patriots getting sacked. Yeah. I would say last night that you don't even get a shot off. At least you took the ball. I know, called third strike, you don't get the bat off your shoulder. The sack, at least you have the ball in your hands, and you have that opportunity to get rid of the ball. They didn't get a chance to even get a shot off. Yep. Yes, Eden.
And maybe, too, with a called third strike, sometimes a pitch has the ability to just freeze you, and you don't really know why, but you're like, dang, that was a hell of a pitch, where you see it and you just can't, you're just frozen, and it just gets you,
Yes, Marvin.
Carlos Beltran, didn't he have a call third strike in the NLCS? The bat did not come off of his shoulder.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I think not getting a shot off, and maybe it's recency bias where you're just going, who drew up this play? Like, what was the play? And the fact, if you have a play and you've run that play, that's great scouting by Florida. If they know what your go-to play is, because every team, certainly when you get to that moment, knows if there is a go-to play, what's it going to be? And it's going to be a close game because Florida was favored by 1. It's going to be a tight game. Houston plays tight games. When it comes down to a 1 play, what are you running? And I can guarantee you, Florida's coaching staff scouted that and knew what that play was going to be because they were there and they blew it up in real time. What else do we have today, Seton, for the first hour?
Well, let's see. I'm just posting that one right now. Paul just sent over another one, too. That's kind of interesting, believe it or not.
Wow.
Should the NCAA tournament also give out an award for the finals MVP?
Instead of the most outstanding player?
Well, they give out the most outstanding player, and maybe you do that. But then should there also be a final MVP?
Yeah, sure. I don't care.
Yeah. Way to enthusiastically back that.
Would Walter Clayton Jr. III he wouldn't have won the most valuable player last night. but he was the most outstanding player. Yes, Todd?
Do we do best second half team? Give Florida even another trophy because they were the best second half team down the stretch?
What, Paul?
Walter Clayton got the mop, but Will Richard from Florida would have got MVP of the final, which would be kind of a cool award to have because it's kind of overlooked his night.
He should have stepped up earlier. Had a whole bunch of other games in the tournament. He should have.
But if you're most outstanding player, then you've been the most outstanding player over the entire tournament.
But then you have a bad game or an off night, and someone else gets the other award.
Yeah, but you had to lead them. Without you, they don't get to there.
Right.
So you're the most outstanding player. Yeah. Sure. If you want to have another award, sure. I think that they're probably satisfied with winning the national championship. I don't know if Will Richard is going, I should have been MVP. I think he's okay.